born an athlete, you'll die an athlete. It's in your DNA.
You're an athlete. Live like an athlete so that you can be successful in life.
You're an athlete. Live like it.
ANA, America needs athletes.
He's an Aussie. He's like 6'7", absolutely like shredded, loaded up head to toe in tattoos.
Yeah. That's what's funny. Like every college now just goes and finds like a 6'6" Australian rugby player to be their punter.
Well, he's smart. You can punt it along and
Yeah,
make the NFL.
they're all like 30 years old.
That's a good road to the NFL.
Genius,
There
yeah.
you go. You can go make your millions.
Shit, if I could go punt in the NFL, that's like a dream job.
Yeah,
Because like kicking, you
There's
have
a lot of
all
pressure.
that pressure still.
You gotta make it
Punting,
You
there's
just gotta
literally-
take it long.
Yeah.
So I figured out. So my dad, growing up, I played quarterback, but my dad got me like a private like punting coach. I punted
Really?
for my high school
Yeah.
too, but like he got me like a private punting coach, trying to steer me in the direction
Right.
of punting. And like I was really good at punting. I had the best like state average and everything. We didn't punt that often though because we were like
Oh, you were actually
we were
good.
like a 80. Well, we were decent, but we were like an 80% run team. So if it was 4th and 3 and
You went
under,
for it a lot, yeah.
we went for it all the time. So we didn't punt as much, but I had above 50-yard average,
That's
and my dad just kept having me work with like ex-NFL punters and stuff, and I was just like, I'm not gonna punt in high school.
Your
after
competition
high
at
school. I
that
don't-
position is
Yeah.
minimal.
And now
the
looking
required
back, I'm like,
That's
That
the way
was
to go.
That's the
dumbest
path.
thing
You got to go
that
down
is the way
that
to
because
go,
you
yeah.
don't have to be that good compared to everyone else to get in at that position.
Right.
Quarterback, that's the hardest position.
Right.
You got to be like the best of the best to get.
and everybody is bidding for that position.
To go be
too.
a punter is gonna make $1 million a year just to hang out, kick a few balls every once in a while.
Well, and that's what was great in high school, and that's like I punted and like so I would practice like once a week because we always had like an offensive centered practice.
Oh yeah.
Because a lot of our guys played two ways, so you'd have an offensive centered practice and you have a defensive centered practice, like Monday to Tuesday. So Tuesday when it was a defensive practice, I didn't play defense. Most people played both ways.
Yeah.
I didn't, and I was one of like 3 that didn't. So I would just go boot balls all
Yeah.
day, and so for me it was super easy as far as my practice week went. But then I didn't realize like if you punt in college, like our college punter just punted all the time. Just
Yeah.
booted
That's
balls.
what you do.
Just punted for like 2 hours.
That's all
every
you
day.
do.
And I guess he also held for our.
Oh, you got to get older.
Yeah.
That
But
would
that's
be
the
a
other thing too
high-pressure
is
job.
as a quarterback in high school, I held
Yeah.
anyway, so I
Yeah.
knew how to do
Even
that.
the perfect college punter.
Yeah,
Dang,
my dad knew what he was doing, so shout out to him. But I did not want to listen, I guess. We're gonna have a bunch of extra bonus material for the YouTube channel versus the podcast because the audio is not syncing up for me right now,
Great.
or at least not starting on the computer. Sorry,
Yeah.
there we go. Welcome, athletes, into the gym closet for episode. What are we on? 162.
Jeez.
Yeah.
We're rolling. So
What?
today is Wednesday. We just dropped one yesterday, so this one will come out here later this week. But we got an awesome episode today. If this is your first time joining us, the Gym Closet is a what did I say last time? Life optimization podcast.
Something like that, yeah. Optimization.
I like that. So
Sounds like a bunch of big words.
we talk about how to live like an athlete. The mission behind Krave Gym is living life like an athlete, and the reason we do that is because being an athlete equals greatness. And so not only living like an athlete in the gym and training like an athlete and being physically fit and ready to do anything, but then also living like an athlete outside of the gym, making the community better, pushing yourself at work, with your family, whatever the case might be, being the doer that gets shit done. That is what being an athlete is all about. And so welcome for another episode.
I'm just checking my schedule because I feel like I always.
Have to like leave.
Leave after 10 minutes.
I like your attire today.
It's freaking cold back here.
If you're working,
It's
if you're
cold in the
watching,
gym closet.
yeah.
Freezing.
I was hoping
Well, yeah,
you
we
wouldn't
don't
ask
have
for
heat.
it back.
We don't have heat in the gym closet, so
I was hoping you
it
wouldn't
will
notice
it will
somewhere.
just get colder and colder. But if you are listening to this
I'm sure someone
as a
from
podcast, that we
we
don't
need a
even know.
space heater.
Well, yeah. They don't even know.
I don't know. This is a
what
small
you're
closet
wearing.
with 4 people. By the time we're done with this, it gets pretty hot.
Yeah, it'll get
That's true.
it'll get warmed up.
But it does bring up a
But it
good
isn't
point, though,
even that cold out.
people should be watching on YouTube where we hit 100 subscribers.
Right.
Ooh.
Nice.
So,
because we hit 100 subscribers on our YouTube, we got a little fireworks show
It was pretty neat.
when we opened
Cool
the YouTube.
graphics
So that
now.
is awesome. So, but that also means we have a giveaway. So we are going. What are we going to be giving away?
How
We're
about
gonna
choice of shirt, t-shirt,
be any
Any t-shirts.
swag? I want to give more away.
any
We hit
swag,
100. We hit
Okay.
100. We hit
whatever she wants.
yes. Any
whatever
swag.
they
swag.
want.
Whatever-
Whatever they want.
We're
We
gonna
don't know.
give
We
away.
haven't
No, so we're
told
gonna
them
give
the
away.
orders.
We're gonna give away a season shirt and a pair of pants of choice or shorts. So we're gonna give away a full outfit, and we'll give away socks too.
Ooh.
Damn.
Yeah, we're gonna
Head
be
to
swagged
toe.
out. So
What happens when we get to 200? We're
Yeah.
gonna be given like
we're giving free
I
memberships
was saying we're
away.
giving away free memberships at that point.
When we get if we hit 200, we'll give away the entire.
The gym?
You can have the gym if
You can own the gym.
You can own the gym.
You can own your own Krave.
Yep, exactly.
that's how excited we are
Yeah.
about this, guys.
Yes, no. So thank for everybody who subscribed. Make sure that you hit that little bell so that you get notifications on that. And if you are one of 60%?
Yeah, there was we did the analysis, and it was like it showed us how many views we get, and then it showed us how many of those viewers were subscribed, and I think 62% are viewing this and are not subscribed right now. So hit this button here.
Or is it
this
down?
button.
Or that
This
one,
button.
or over here.
Hit this subscribe button right here.
It's
Yes.
gonna be somewhere.
And
And check
subscribe.
out the image
And
we
hit
made
the-
for you guys too at the house.
Yeah, there's an image of the big finger pointing to the button.
What did we do?
We posted that.
Zach's
Oh,
like,
yeah,
can you
yeah,
make an image? And I was Googling like
So it's like a
I was
big
like,
ass
wait, do I-
hand.
Is this a joke? Like, do I really need
I
to
do
make an
remember that,
image
yeah.
that says subscribe? Because
And
I
it,
went
it
there, I'm
worked.
like-
We got like 11 subscribers.
okay,
Yeah.
in an
but I'm
hour.
like, how hard is it to see the subscribe button? Like, it's not that hard. So I'm like, okay, is this a joke?
I don't
But
know
it
if
is.
some people don't know like that's a thing.
Okay, yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
now we're
see it,
telling
so
you
they
it's
know.
a thing.
How to use YouTube.
Subscribe.
Yes.
So yeah, that
so,
big image.
So yes, so we hit our random number optimizer on the computer, and it came out with number 29. And number 29 for our subscribers was Jessie Swaim.
Woo!
So Jessie is actually an athlete at Krave. So she will be. If you're watching this, congratulations! You will get
She
your
should be. She
swag
subscribed.
badge.
Subscribe.
She
better
She'll
be
get,
watching.
she'll know at least.
She's gonna know.
But that's the other thing that I also. So this is what we need from everybody on YouTube. So if you subscribe, awesome. Hit a bell so then you get that notification. Bing.
Bing.
But then also, if you can upshare this, go on right now if you're watching this and hit that like button,
Oh,
that
Jesus,
thumbs up.
This is a lot to ask.
But it's
This-
all right
we
where
need the
you're doing
engagement.
it.
I mean,
So
this will
tell
take
me-
you 5 seconds.
Yes,
So
Like
what
a lot,
happens
so-
if you, from
Like,
my
subscribe.
research, what happens when you hit that thumbs up is what the thumbs up button is what gets us on like other people's similar search type stuff.
Mhm.
So the more likes that you like a video, or the more likes that video has, and the viewership and all that kind of stuff, then it can get to more people. So we don't charge for this. We don't have ads that are boring and
People
and
come
have to.
flock to us all the time wanting to be on our show.
Right.
Saying,
Yep.
"Boo."
Yep. We don't know. We just have one ask of all of the listeners. If you've ever gotten any valuable information out of this or any entertainment out of this, please just jump on and do those 3 things. Like, subscribe, and bing notification so you know which one's when the next one coming up. But huge shout out to Jessie. She is going to get our swag bag full of goodies the next time you see her. Probably Jake, you'll see her.
Probably, yeah. Friday morning.
Nice, awesome.
She wasn't in this morning, so she better be in.
Jesse.
Ooh.
Signed up, but didn't show up.
Shame.
Yeah, so we will have that giveaway, and we'll do another giveaway at 150. We'll do another giveaway
Oh,
at
not
200.
even 200.
No,
Wow.
I'm
giving the gym
Every-
away.
150, you can own one franchise.
Right?
200, you get it all.
Get it all. 200. We're drawing for the
Ugh.
franchise.
Happens
So
when we get to like 1,000.
yeah, 1,000.
Well, after 200, it's their problem.
That's true. Yeah, right.
Someone else runs
We're
the
done.
gym
We're
closet.
done. we're out of here.
You get the gym closet too.
Yep, you do.
You make the rules
do.
at that point.
Yes, so we have an awesome show today. We are talking about, we have some myths, we have word of the week, we have, so the new segment that we're going to be doing is, we got to think of a name.
I feel like we have all these like segments, and then we're like we're like this week.
This week
Right.
we'll do this segment.
But this is what we need to do is
But
we need to come prepared. So like we need to assign.
Oh,
a myth.
we're good at preparing.
What do you mean? We do.
Yes, but I mean,
plan on this episode all
what we
week.
need to do is we need to either each actually do our homework and come with like a topic of our own. If it's
I
like
quit.
a brand.
All right, we lost
I'm outta
Amber.
here.
We lost
I'm
Amber
outta
on that one.
No, but so let's do. Who wants to be in charge of the myth?
I do.
Okay.
Oh, good. Volunteer.
I love
Zach.
that.
So
Yeah.
any show that doesn't have a myth segment, MythBuster segment, we can blame Zach for not being prepared.
That's not what I thought it was going
Right?
to happen.
Yes. Similarly,
Come on, this is a
if
team
there's
effort.
not a word of the week, you can blame me because I didn't come prepared.
And if there's no craving, Amber.
Amber.
Oh, I'll
Yep.
take that.
What about
That's it.
Jake? What's
Yep.
I
Jake?
have
Jake?
no responsibility.
Not yet,
So,
so
I'm
we
gonna,
will-
I'm gonna chill.
Anyone that has, this would be a good craving. What was one more segment that we could talk? Like
Do,
what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
can
do
What
Jake
do you
be
want to
in
hear from
charge
us?
of?
What can I be in charge
Yeah,
of?
what? Because we have the word of the week, we have cravings, we have
Okay.
Mythbusters, and now we need one more like recurring weekly segment that you
And then that would
guys,
make a great
the
show.
listeners, would
There we
be.
go. That's all we need. 4 segments.
Yeah.
One from each of us.
Yep. Perfect. Okay, so
all right. Better make a note.
yeah, make a note for that.
Or we'll
We
forget.
do have a MythBuster segment, so you want to take over and announce? Do you remember what that was today?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
On you, Zach.
Do you
Let's
think
go.
we
Yeah,
should just
Zach
go?
prepared
We're
for
not
this.
gonna flow. Usually we just like flow right into it.
Oh, what are we going to do?
Oh, I
What are
don't
we going
know.
to?
It's
Let's start with that. And
We're
then
announcing
start
our
with that.
segments
All right.
now.
We're
We are
gonna-
okay,
doing.
announce it.
We
We're
are
gonna
Mythbusters.
just-
So we're going to do Mythbusters, but then we're going to get into our season. So stick around because we're going to go over our season overview because it.
Wait, I thought we were
ties
gonna talk
in
about
together.
Husker football real quick.
No,
We can talk about Husker football if you
Amber,
want. If
you
you
might
want
not want to
to
hear what me and Zach have to
Yeah.
say
No,
about
because
that.
I'm really interested.
In
So
what?
What is about?
no, so
what-
my thing is, here's the thing. I don't know a lot about football, right? Like, I just know that the
Interesting.
Huskers are not doing well this season. But like,
This
how do you
season.
just hire?
Good take.
Well,
Right, just
okay,
this season.
whatever.
Good take.
That's a good
How
take.
do
Been in your
you
lifetime.
fire all your coaches with games left? Like, so he just takes over everything, or they have people
They
that
have
fill in?
people that are
Like-
coming
They have like
in.
little like
to-
interim.
Interim.
So
interim
some
with
like
an M,
random
yeah.
position coach got a promotion today or
Yeah.
yesterday.
Some like
Quarterback
a
So
coach
from
assistant
Nebraska,
because-
or they
Oh, yeah,
hire
no,
from?
they
Probably
on the
internal.
team.
Probably someone from
Internal.
Normally, you probably wouldn't have time in the middle of the season to hire. So, like, if
Not that
you
it matters for them because their season's
I
over
mean, they're
with.
gonna
Well, I mean-
they're gonna lose out regardless.
say
but-
that you fire everybody and only the head coach is there and he's an offensive guy. That means you have some GA in the building that's going to be calling the defense.
Well, think about it this way: if you were to fire Zach right now, you would have to take up all of his responsibilities,
Yeah, so
or
my-
promote someone
I'm
else.
I'm
not gonna
untouchable.
fire you.
so
I'm not gonna
so
You are untouchable. Yeah.
just an example.
Okay.
Unless you
I
talk
But
too
so, like,
much, unless you talk
so-
too much shit about Nebraska.
Yeah, so the backstory here, that would be the thing that would get me fired. The backstory is that Scott Frost, terrible head coach for Nebraska football, garbage human being. Horrible.
Not even a good football player.
You didn't hear the
but-
story of how he hid in his closet while who was the running back for Nebraska? Well, there's probably a lot of them that did like
Oh, you
domestic
mean
abuse.
while he was in college?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't think he's any
Sorry.
better now
Uh,
though.
Okay.
But yeah, so there was
I
a
don't
whole
know.
thing
Scott
there.
Frost. I
But
just don't get good vibes from
he
him.
just seems like
blames his players for everything.
He
does.
does. He
wrong.
loves throwing people under the bus. It's never his fault. Like, whenever they lose a game, it's because the players are terrible. The players that he recruited are terrible, and he needs better players to win. And I'm like, whatever. I don't like him very
But
much.
there's a reason they're 2-7.
Yeah, for 4 years in a row.
That's
Amber, what are
not
your
right.
opinions of Nebraska football? How does it feel to be a Nebraska
I
fan at
like
this
it.
point in
I'm okay
time?
with it.
You're okay with 7 losses, 8, 9?
I will
10
tell you, as an
losses?
Iowa fan, I am thrilled that Scott Frost is coming back. Thrilled because
So what's funny though is Nebraska fan. Being from Nebraska, I grew up a Nebraska fan. During my college time, I was not a Nebraska fan, and my family kind of separated from Nebraska. I'm sure everybody's got that story, but I still know the culture of a Nebraska fan, and it's funny because being 3-7 in a season being 4-7 in a season, whatever it might be, is like the same feeling I feel like as when Nebraska was a 10-win season, 10-win bowl-winning team under Solich, but they weren't the national champions.
Right.
And it's so funny because it like the fan base. You had Solich fired. They had what's his name? What's the other coach's name? I'm going blank.
Bo Pelini.
Pelini.
He got
Pelini
fired.
got fired.
For going,
Those
like,
were
9-3
each
every
after.
year.
Those were each after like 10-win seasons that they got fired. And now you have Frost after. And I think any coach should get any coach scandal free should get.
Right, you
4
need,
years.
they need
time
multiple
to
years.
get
they
that.
do.
But now he's at that point, so it's like if it's not this year and next year it's the same result, then you have to.
Well, I'll tell you why he's still there right now. And his offensive coaches got fired. It's like $22 million to kick him
His
out.
buyout,
Right.
is
His
insane.
buyout is
Yeah.
ridiculous. He's gonna.
But that doesn't matter to him because
Which is ridiculous.
what's the Ohio or the Oregon State guy that was there?
Oh, Mike Riley.
Mike Riley was
Yeah.
there, and his payout was very similar.
Yeah.
And they just retired the man and just probably still paying him
Oh,
to
for sure.
this day. And then he went back to be like the O-line coach at Oregon State again or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I
So
don't
he doesn't
know.
care. He's
Just
making a
hanging
ton of
out,
money.
yeah.
My personality is pretty mellow. Like, we lose, we win.
Yeah.
I still wake up. I'm excited for Husker football on Saturdays.
It's a
And
feeling.
It's
Well,
a
I mean,
feeling.
you're a
Like, I
fan.
just love
Well,
like Saturdays.
I was just
Yeah.
saying, growing
And
up in Nebraska.
I'm
is there
happy
anything
that we
else
haven't
to
got our
do?
ass kicked. Like, we played Ohio State, didn't get beat by 30,
90.
40 like we used to back in the day. That would suck when we'd get beat by that much. But some games are playing good football, some games are absolutely sucking. But I don't know.
I have the
always
opposite
gonna be a Nebraska
personality.
fan. It doesn't ruin my day if they lose. I'm just like, that kind of sucks. But
Unfortunately, I'm the opposite. Well, like if Iowa has one bad play, I'm like, you know what? Time to
Time to
drive my car off a cliff.
that's how my brother is.
I
My brother
grew-
is the exact,
I-
and
I
I don't
always
know how
bug
he
me.
lives. Like I just,
I hate it that I'm that
Yeah.
way, and I'm getting better.
Yeah.
I would say.
I grew
but
up an Iowa
still
State
am,
fan,
yeah.
so we were
So
like
what do you get
1-11
excited
my
about
entire
Iowa?
life. So I'm
Going-
good with us now.
Going 8-4. I love it.
Well, but like during a game, are you like excited for like an off tackle?
I'm excited
For
for
3
a,
yards.
I'm excited for a stretch zone run to the left for 5 yards.
That's what
Because that 5 yard run is.
That,
No, that's a big play.
that's what I would.
You know what I
But
actually-
then-
How
but
about
then
you
that? Fake it for a 5-yard
Ooh,
pass.
exactly. No, that's lucky.
How about that quarterback switch this weekend, Zach?
Oh,
What's
Alex
your-
Padilla, big fan. Mobile quarterback, big fan. What else I get excited for as an Iowa fan? A freaking 65-yard bomb of a punt every time out. I love it.
He's a good punter.
Yeah, he's a great punter.
Yeah.
What the life of an Iowa fan.
Field position for the
7
win.
and 2,
I
and your
love-
best player is your punter.
I love good field position. It's good.
We are field position fans.
I love good field
That's
position.
awesome.
The
So,
fundamentals of football.
But
Yes.
anyways, all right.
all right. So, here's
Mythbusters.
how we tie into.
There we go.
Here's
Now
how
we're
we tie
back.
into this MythBuster. So, so the cool thing about what Iowa is talented at is bringing in undersized linemen and
You are
D
correct.
linemen and bulking them up
Mhm.
to play or essentially be drafted into the NFL as giant human beings at offensive line, defensive line. Same thing with the linebackers and all that. So I think it's interesting. The myth that we are busting today is that lifting heavy will make people, specifically females, bulky and why is it the reason they don't want to be bulky?
I think the thing that happens for a lot of people, and especially women, is because we hear it every strength season. Like, oh, I don't want to lift heavy because I'm gonna get huge and bulky, and it's like for women, it's just simply not true.
So I
You
think
know, like-
bulky and toned are different. Like bulky is more like you have more fat on your body and you're just bigger, right?
Right.
They want to be toned,
Right.
but they don't want to be bulky.
Right.
If that
But
makes sense. Like
and that's what I think. Okay, so the
so, but
myth
it doesn't
that
make
we need
any
to bust is heavy lifting does not cause females to be bulky.
Right.
It does. It without alternative sources of like overeating and all this other stuff, it won't cause men to be bulky. And so it's one of those things where you have to be doing so much. Like, that's the thing that we talk about Iowa. Yeah. In order to make, like, most colleges cannot make their linemen bulky like Iowa does. Right. You have to be able to overeat like a animal. You have to be able to.
And that's what people don't understand is, like, it's hard to cut fat and lose weight the right way.
Right.
It's just as hard, if not harder, to gain muscle mass. Like, it is, like, you have to eat an insane amount of food, protein, food in general. Like, borderline beyond stuffing.
So if you're going to bulk as a female, you would have to, one, really, really overeat with your weightlifting, right? Mm-hmm. So if you don't want to bulk, don't overeat. That's number one, right? So in our nutrition programming, we set where your macros are, so you're not going to be overeating that way. The other thing that it takes is the ability to make muscle. So that is what helps men be more bulky, is the amount of testosterone naturally in our bodies that will help us gain muscle. Well, guess what? In a female body, that testosterone number is not there. And so it makes it increasingly more difficult for females to gain muscle at the same rate as males. So that's another reason. Number two, if you're not taking steroids, which is going to increase your testosterone as a female, you are not going to get bulky if you're lifting heavy weights. Like those two things, overeating and not having the hormones needed to get bulky, means you will not get bulky, period. So if you're lifting with us, that you don't have to worry about the quote unquote getting bulky. That's not a thing, especially with females. Now, Jake and I had this conversation before. Even with males, you have to bust your ass to get bulk, to get muscle size. So Jake's been saying, and I'll let you take over.
I was saying, as we were busting that myth, like, of course it's going to be hard for women. I'm a man that has been working to, like, get bulky, add muscle, all that type of stuff for like 8 years of my life, and I still would consider myself, fairly average size. It's not like I'm huge or anything. You made the point. I'm a lot bulkier than I used to be, obviously, which is obviously proving that it does work. But I still would consider myself far from this. You wouldn't look at me and think, oh, that's a big bulky dude. Yeah, he's fit, athletic, whatever. But I bust my ass to try and do that. So to be bulky, you really, really have to bust your ass. And I have the things going for me, like a knowledge of the nutrition I need to do it, the free testosterone as a man. I eat like crazy. And so it's like, if I have to work that hard to get bulky, it's not just going to happen to you, especially like a woman that doesn't have that testosterone going for them, on accident. So.
Right. And that's what's funny is, like, Jake hears that and he almost gets offended. Like, no. You won't accidentally get bulky.
Right. And I think that's what people think. Because, I mean, like, the common thing that I always hear is, like, especially from women, it's, oh, like, I don't want to, they'll see a picture of, like, a super shredded, like, 2% body fat bodybuilder. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't look into that.
Right.
Like, the amount of effort and planning that goes into looking like that, and you only look like that for a day on stage because there's more that goes into it than, I mean, you're painted, like, everything. You're posing. You even a bodybuilder that walks off stage doesn't look like that picture that you see of them where you can see every muscle fiber.
Something that's so funny with that, because I did bodybuilding or bikini shows back in the day. Like, you look at pictures on Instagram or whatever of these people and they looked solid and jacked and just huge, like the females, right? You go backstage, when they're in clothes, they are like the most petite people because they have a ton of muscle and they lift a shit ton of weight, but they have no fat. But it's like, it's not ideal, like, but they're not walking around like they're super bulky and huge.
And even the guys, like, I say this on the natural side. So I compete I'm a pro natural bodybuilder, and on the natural side, like, a lot of people get confused about, okay, the natural bodybuilder versus the bodybuilder you see at the Olympia that is roided out and weighs 300 pounds on stage. Those bulky guys are taking massive amounts of steroids because you have to be competing in that. Not very many people talk about it, But if you're backstage at a natural bodybuilding competition,
Yes.
even especially on the pro side where we on stage look very, very
Huge.
big.
You look, yeah.
But if I'm backstage with a t-shirt on, I look like a
Skinny,
sickly,
yes.
skinny little boy.
It's
Yeah.
very
Like
eye-opening.
it's
and that's the
crazy.
first time I went to a show and backstage. I'm like, everyone here looks so skinny, but when you look at pictures of them online,
look
they
huge.
look freaking huge.
Right,
because
And they're all
there's-
strong as hell. Like
Yeah.
they're all lifting, but they're tiny because it's muscle versus fat. You know, the more muscle you have on, the more you're gonna shrink.
And that's something I think a lot of people don't always
and-
think about as well. And we always talk about with our nutrition athletes is you can be, say you come into this season right now and you're 170 pounds, just for an example. If you gain 2 pounds of muscle mass and you lose 2 pounds of body fat, you're going to be the exact same weight, but you're going to look a little bit
So much
smaller
different.
because that muscle is more dense than fat. So,
Right.
and then
if you've ever seen, like, there's good examples online. Look up
there's great pictures.
Look up like a pound of fat. The volume is big. Like if you're watching on YouTube, it's like a foot long, right? But then a pound of lean muscle mass is like
The size of your fist.
16
It's
ounces.
like-
It's the size of a small steak, right?
Yeah.
And so 16 ounces, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Yep.
pound.
Yeah. So it's 16 ounces. So like that is if you think of a 16-ounce steak, that's going to be the size of lean body mass, basically. If you look at those pictures online where it's a pound of body fat, it takes up a lot more space, but on the scale they weigh the exact same.
Right.
So if you're thinking about it inside of your body, like that's the stuff that is taking up a lot more space, making you look a certain way, and having that body fat underneath your skin. Getting rid of a pound of that, you are getting rid of a lot more inches than you're putting on a pound of muscle. And guess what? Putting on a pound of muscle, taking off if you lose a pound of fat, 3,500 calories in a week, that's not, that you can do that by just not eating, right? The difficulty then of putting that pound and creating a pound of muscle might take you months, years to do. And so it's like you're not going to lift heavy in this session and accidentally gain a pound of muscle.
Right.
Because I've been working my ass off for the entire year and I put on 1.5 pounds of muscle.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it does. It's one of those things like you want to put on that weight of muscle mass because guess what? The other thing that does is it increases your metabolism. It takes more calories to live if you have more pounds of muscle. So you're naturally going to be able to accidentally stay leaner.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what a lot of the people don't talk about because it's like it's such an easy concept. I don't want to get bulky, so lifting makes me bulky, and that's the myth.
For people like
I think myth busted.
Myth has been
I just have
destroyed.
one.
Sorry.
So people can, like a lot of people that watch this know who I am and know my size. So like the other day I was cleaning 95 pounds.
The kitchen.
Cleaning.
Oh, this is
Oh,
not a
Zach's
sexist
looking at me.
podcast.
This is the new. This is my.
This is a
I was
feminist
wondering-
podcast.
What can we make mom and
This
dad
is
argue
the
about?
whatever you do. What segment is it?
The
Ga-
gathlete.
This is the
Gathlete
corner.
No, I was.
I was
I go
hang
back.
cleaning.
Oh, hang clean. Okay,
I
So, like-
I go back to you hating women. So I thought maybe you were just talking about Jimmy.
So we move into
So I was
gender
hang
roles and
cleaning
cleaning.
95 pounds, which is a lot for me, for someone that's not very consistent. But like, and then when I do one arm rows, like I go heavy. But I think it's good for people to see me lift heavy because then they're like, I don't think I'm a very big person. So then for them to see me and be like,
Mhm.
oh, well, she
No,
can
like
go
what
that
do you
heavy.
what do you weigh?
130, about 128.
And
Yeah.
5'5", 130.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're a lean, and you have good muscle mass, right? And so like you doing that, a lot of women should be able to hopefully look at that and be like, oh,
She's not gonna.
she doesn't look bulky
right?
and
she can
huge,
lift
and
this
she's
much,
lifting
right.
that, especially that ratio to your body and weight and all
Right,
that kind
right.
of stuff versus.
Because
you know,
sometimes it's hard to know someone when you see a picture of them on Instagram, like, and you don't see them
Right.
ever in real life. You're like,
Yeah.
well, how big are they really? Or
Yeah.
you know, so it's just, I don't know.
yeah, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the whole point of that is just to say that if you get bulky this season, like you are either juiced out of your gills and you're not telling us, or you're eating like 10,000 calories a day and not telling us.
Or
Which
your
like,
calories are going to
Bulking
the wrong
comes
thing.
from
Like,
bulking
yes, over.
in this instance would come from increasing body fat.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
in this 2 months, when we're lifting heavy, if you bulk, it would be most likely from overeating.
Yep.
What, and there's a whole bunch of other science. If you drinking more water, all that kind of stuff can fill your muscles. You're doing all this kind of stuff, right? But if you boil it down to what you're eating versus how you're working out, the workout should be the same when you're losing weight, as far as lifting goes, when you're losing weight as when you're trying to gain muscle. That workout, lifting wise, should be very, very similar. That's why even in our endurance season, you should still be lifting as heavy as you can for the certain amount of reps, right? But then, the diet or the endurance can change if you are looking to build muscle or if you're looking to lose body fat. And so that's all of the stuff that we help out with in our nutrition programming as well. So
Nice plug.
Yeah.
Cool.
A hard sell on nutrition program.
Do it.
Too. So, yeah, myth
Yeah,
busted.
don't do it.
Myth
Don't
busted.
do it.
What's that?
Don't do it. We don't have.
Those two don't have any time.
Yeah.
I'm taking applications
Okay,
if
yes.
anyone needs nutrition.
Nutrition.
Find me.
Jake can house some new
I've got a
nutrition.
couple free.
Jake's
I got
room
some free
for
time.
ya.
Yeah. So yeah.
That was a
awesome
fun
myth.
discussion.
Yes,
If
awesome
anyone
discussion.
make my job easy too, if anyone has,
Oh.
because there's a lot, and there's a ton out there. I could go look up fitness. I know 10 of them right now off the top of my head, but
That's 10
like,
weeks
if
worth of
anybody
material.
that's
You're
You
good.
gotta say
speaking
that
of
he's
being
good.
busy,
Have you put
Um,
it on your Trello board?
I put it on my
You should put
Trello
mine
board.
on my
Yeah,
Trello
put
board.
yours on your Trello board.
Trello.
We love Trello.
Trello?
At
You
once.
haven't-
Smack
had
and
never
Tyler
gotten
love
that.
him
I
Trello.
Never
love
heard of
Trello.
Trello.
I've gotten Amber to love Trello.
Trello board is an
So
online.
This is not a
inboard
sponsored
that you
No
ad.
sponsor.
list.
Sponsor us, Trello.
Sponsor
So just like a to-do list.
It's free.
Oh, never mind.
So pay us, Trello.
Pay us, Trello.
Sponsorships right now.
Yeah,
Got
so
100 subscribers.
we're going to
got a
get
big
into
audience.
talking about the season. We've talked about it a little bit, but lifting heavy. So we are in our strength season. We are a week and a half in. We just got done with our challenge, which is awesome.
So much fun.
I think it's the
A
most fun
blast.
challenge we've done.
Oh, I would
all year,
absolutely
by
agree.
far.
Yeah, so we had people moving weight, which was awesome. People getting hyped for their partners, for their teammates that are doing these heavy lifts. And so we're doing sub maxes for your squat, dead, bench, and seeing how heavy we can lift this season. So that is the ultimate goal of the season. And the challenge being that has been a lot of fun. We basically, some of them over there took the entire session.
Yeah, I mean, like
right?
the
Oh,
walkie,
yeah.
the morning and the noon sessions. I don't know about the afternoon sessions.
No,
but
it took
they,
I think even at that 5:30 session we had 6 people there and it took us almost the whole
Yeah.
time. It was awesome, but
That's
nobody was like in a rush to get through it. Like
Yeah.
they wanted.
That's
to
what we
go.
want. We want the challenge to be the
Like the main
and
event,
that
the
goes
main
for
event.
every challenge every season. Is that's the big thing for the day. If it's not, we're not just trying to do a session and fit a challenge into it. We're doing the challenge. That's the big thing for that day because we want to be progressing and know that we're progressing.
And so many people had said like, I realize I'm not going heavy enough in the
Oh,
team
yeah.
sessions because I've
we
realized
say
I
it
can
every
do
year.
this
It's
3
not
to
like, oh,
5
shoot, I can
times.
lift
Well,
that.
that's
Yeah.
how much I should be
Yeah,
doing.
exactly.
I know we
Right.
say it every year. It's almost like we know what we're talking about.
It's about
Almost.
time. they
Almost.
listen to
We're
us.
getting there. We're getting there.
Almost.
But it's
like we
awesome,
know.
yeah. And that being said, like you should, whatever you max out at. So say that I do, our rep range this season is 4 to 6. So we're going heavy every single round. But keep in mind that the pace at which you're doing it is hitting a weight and doing it for 5 sets of basically 5 reps, 4 to 6 reps. If we can hit 5, that's perfect. So say we're doing 5 of 5. Now I just maxed out and I know that I can do 200 pounds for 3 reps. Okay. That doesn't mean that like I should take that, and if 200 pounds for 3 reps is probably about 215 pounds as far as the max from the equation, and
that you can do one time.
that you can do one time. And we do sub maxes because if you're doing a max, it's kind of a different story. If you're maxing out to the point where you can only do one, it does have a little more injury risk. And as strength and conditioning coaches, our number one goal is to not be injured because you can't train, you can't play with being if you're injured. So we do sub maxes because of that. And so that tells us, okay, so my 215 bench press I should be doing in the sessions close to about 75% to 80% of that for my 5 rep max. So that kind of gets you that number of, okay, 80% of 215 round numbers, that's what, 40 pounds? So
180-ish.
yeah, 180-ish, right? So you should try to hit that 180 mark. And when you're writing down your weight for the next time that you do that movement in the session, you should see, okay, I did 185 for my 5 sets of 5, and that's a great weight to be doing that work set at. You should not probably hit, if you can hit on our max day, if you can hit 200 pounds for 4 reps, that's inside of our rep range, but you most likely are not going to be able to do 5 sets of that. So that's why you're going to be cutting it down in the team session. So there's a little bit of a discrepancy there. But trying to hit that 80 to 85 mark, depending on the research, that's where you should be hitting your work sets for that 5 rep range.
Honestly, I had one of my athletes after our challenge come up to me and she's like, I can hit 185 for 3 for my squat. So I think what I'm going to go do going forward is hit 5 sets of 3 or 5 sets of 4 at 185, and that'll automatically make me grow my strength. I'm like, well, possibly yes, but like you said, it's hard to maintain that maximal intensity for multiple sets every single week,
right,
doing the same high intensity. I'm like, I told her exactly what you said. Like, let's take it down a notch, work 20, 30 pounds below that, hit your 5 sets of 5. And, there's a lot of ways to track progress on that too. Like, if I'm hitting, 135 for sets of 5 this week, can I hit 140 for sets of 5 next week? Or even can I hit that same weight for another rep? Can I hit that same weight but move it faster? There's a lot of different ways to track that progress from week to week. But I think, definitely working at that 70, 75, 80, 85%
right,
is the most sustainable way to build that strength over the course of the season.
And then the next challenge that you do, you're going to be like, oh shit, okay, now I'm doing 215 for 3.
Yeah.
And that equates to, 230. And so now I put 15 pounds on that lift.
And if you guys don't know how to figure that stuff out or need help, ask us, because we want you guys to use your lifting sheets, write what you're doing down, and progress with our program. And so what I always tell people is we can give you the tools, but if you're not utilizing it, you're not going to get the most out of our program. So make sure you are
challenging yourself too.
Challenging yourself.
And I think that does bring up a good point to differentiate, doing our 5 work sets versus a max out, because like you said, the rep ranges as far as 4 to 6 versus 3 to 5 are very similar, obviously. But when we're doing our work sets, you're resting for a minute in between. If you're doing your 5 sets, 7 minutes, you're getting you should be taking a minute of rest between sets. Not everyone is. That's another point though. Get your rest in. But when we're maxing out, you should be resting. Again, like in Waukee, we had groups of 4 or 5 in a rack. So it works out perfectly because if you're rotating through, you're resting for your 4 or 5 minutes in between,
and you're also working your way up.
Exactly,
so you're not sitting at that max.
Exactly.
For
5
sets.
Exactly. That's something that you can do for a set after 3-4 minutes of rest. And that's the difference between doing our work sets for our 5 sets, 7 minutes versus a true sub max, which is taking that extra rest and pushing for what you can do for 1 set that 3 to 5 times. So
in our challenge.
Speaking of challenge.
Our word of the week this week is, I've been trying to set that up for a while. Our word of the week today is challenge. So we have the challenges. We have a lot of things set up in our program to challenge you. And one of the things that we always talk about is challenging yourself, even in your normal training sessions. Always pushing yourself to the limit, always doing something inside of the gym, making sure that you're always challenging yourself, which is going to elicit that progress. But the definition is a new or different task that tests someone's ability and skills. So that can be, a box jump. That can be a higher box jump. Whatever the case might be, there's a lot of ways inside of our training to challenge yourself. It can be the challenge that is literally weekly in our program to kind of max effort for that day and challenge yourself. So we just want to think about kind of challenges and one thing, we always do action steps. So we were kind of looking at challenges in what's that?
Just the one action step you need for challenge that me and Zach will keep to ourselves.
For challenge?
For challenge. Yeah.
There's only one.
There's only one.
Oh,
yeah.
I want to hear it. Let's hear it.
Yo, what is it, Jake?
Oh, I thought it was your idea, Zach. I think you should do it.
I mean, you're the one laughing.
I love it.
All right, so the only action step you need to overcome any challenge in your life, there's a lot of things that might make you feel better about it, but the only one you need to get through any challenge, don't be a bitch. Just,
I like it.
Just
Yeah.
do it.
Just
Just
do it. Yes.
do it.
Just
Love
Yeah.
it. Right
Deal
to
with
the
it.
point.
And I
Right
love
to
that,
the point.
and that is,
No beating
you know,
around the
that's
bush.
there's no beating around that bush, you know. So that's what's awesome is, you know, there is that point to a lot of challenges, especially physical challenges, right? So just do it. Nike's little challenge,
Yep.
or a little
Slogan.
for their challenge, right? But just doing it is half the battle. But then I also want to get into kind of the other side of things where life in itself is challenging and taking it a little bit more nuanced than that. But I do love that.
There's
And
a
that's
time
why-
and a place for
there's
both.
a time and a place for
both
that, right?
guys.
Yes.
But the second side of things is kind of talking about life being challenging and you know, doing having the right mindset to overcome challenges that might come your way in life. And so that's a little bit about what these action steps above and beyond the just do it and don't be a bitch about it type of approach, right? But this is kind of the way that you know, if there are actual challenges in life, which there always are, you know, there's definitely ways to overcome it, and this is kind of what we're talking about now. But one is identify the challenge. Like, you know, there's a lot of different things that can make us feel overwhelmed, and if we don't identify like what's actually going on and what the challenge is, and there's two kinds of things, right? There's things that hit us, that challenge us, that we don't have control over it or whatever it's happening in our life, right? But then there are the other ones that I want to make a challenge in my life. I want to challenge myself and push myself farther. And so identifying either one of those has to be done first, right? So I'm going to identify the shit that happened to me that is making my life challenging right now, or I want to identify the goal, the big step, the challenge that I want to impose on my life to make my life better. So there's two different kinds of challenges there. The second part, kind of the second action step is, it kind of goes with both of them, is make a plan to overcome the challenge. And I think a lot of people, you know, don't think about shit enough. Like, they're just living, and I'm like that a lot too. But if you
No,
can
we
actually,
think about shit all the time.
Well,
I'm just living.
yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of other stuff that
You
you
think
just
about a
live.
lot
But
of shit.
but this planning phase is one of the things that I think is oftentimes overlooked, right? We get so busy with shit that we're just reacting all the time. We're reacting to this situation. We're reacting to that situation. And the fact that if we can sit back and plan, and think about it, like one of our challenges for us is the apparel company that we're working with, and that we started. And the challenges are always like, okay, we should plan what we're gonna do, right? And most of the time it's like, actually, let's just throw that order in, let's just print that up, and let's just go with it. You know what I mean? But if you plan it to overcome that challenge, and you make a plan, which we need to do. But yes, but yeah, so making a plan to overcome those challenges is what you have to do to be successful. So you can check that off your list. Knowing that you're not alone is more of like the life challenges that are a little bit more uncontrollable, right? But that challenges affect everybody. Like everybody, there's not a single person. No matter if you look at online and you looking at their Instagram, and they have everything they ever wanted. They're driving around in private jets and all this kind of stuff. That person has challenges still.
Mm-hmm.
And it might not be financial challenges at that moment, but it might be mental challenges or family challenges, health challenges, you know? So that's the thing. And you always hear about it, like, don't be kind to people because you don't know what they're going through. And that is to know that you're not alone. If something's challenging you, shit's challenging everybody. You know, and so just having that mindset of I'm the only one in the world that is having to go with this are having to go through this right now, that's a dangerous place to be. So knowing that other people have challenges too helps a lot. Make it public / kind of asking for help. So you don't need to make it public on your social media. Like public is different nowadays, right? So you don't need to announce it to the world, but announcing, and this goes with both of those things, right? Announcing that to my family that I'm going to take on this challenge, or announcing to a friend that I need help because this challenge is happening to me. You know, those are two different ways to kind of make it public or ask for help. And then a kind of side note to that is accept support and accept the help. Like a lot of people, I'm one of these people that is oftentimes like, I'm going to do everything and I'm just going to do it myself. And I don't care how it affects my life. I'm just going to get it done myself. And accepting support and not only accepting support and help, but then also like letting that person do their job and actually get it done if they're getting it done for you, type of thing. And then think big with these challenges. That kind of obviously is more of the challenging yourself. If you're going to challenge yourself to learn Spanish in be fluent in Spanish. You know what I mean? Like think big on any of this stuff. Random stuff.
So, like, how does that just come to your head? Like, to learn Spanish?
Because I would love to.
Because deep down he wants to learn
Yeah,
Spanish.
That'd be cool.
I would love to.
He's making his challenge public.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one
Look
that
at that.
I won't
Look at those
be
action
doing.
steps.
I won't be doing that. That's a lot of time I don't have. But think big. Challenge yourself and make it a challenge. Positive mindset. Have a positive mindset going in. That kind of helps with both of them. If you tackle a challenge, maybe it's a financial challenge that a sudden medical bill hits, or your car breaks down, and now it's a financial challenge. Like have a positive mindset going into that challenge, and it's going to help out quite a bit.
Well, even with the challenges we have here, like you can have a shitty attitude
Right,
coming
yeah.
in to do it.
Yeah,
You're
the
probably
physical
gonna
challenge.
not only are you, it's gonna be a fucking terrible hour for you,
Right.
but
Yeah,
you're
but
also
guess
gonna
what?
get
You're
shitty
doing it,
results
though.
too
Yeah,
because you
yeah.
have a shitty mindset. You
Yeah.
know, so it's just you might as well come in and be positive about it and find the good out of
I
it.
know.
Exactly.
Every once in a while, people love to come in and be like, "Oh, I don't." But you're going to.
Yeah,
Right.
so you're
That's
gonna
too
do
bad.
it.
I don't care.
You hug through that door. You're doing it.
Looks like that's the program for today.
Yeah.
So
Doesn't
nothing
matter
to do
what you
about it.
think.
Yep. Or you can turn around and go home.
Don't
And-
be
and-
a bitch.
and
Yeah,
not challenge
that's it.
yourself.
That's
Right.
the action
And
step.
that's the action
That's the
step.
action
You
step.
You know
Yep.
what? When someone comes into Joaquin and they don't do it, I'm
I was
just
gonna
gonna
say
say,
that.
"Don't be a bitch. Let's go." I wonder. I'm gonna be so serious too.
that'd be an interesting conversation, I think, after that too. But I think like
That's the
if
culture we
somebody
want,
if
Yeah.
somebody comes
Yeah.
in and has a shitty attitude about training that day, and you say don't be a bitch, I
though.
bet that
I bet
that
it
sums
kicks
it
their
up.
ass. And
I
like,
I bet that
I would
turns
say
it
they're
around
either gonna
real
walk out
quick.
the door and you're like, well, we didn't want them here anyways, or it's gonna kick their ass into gear and
Yeah.
you'll be like, that's what I'm talking about.
Yep. Yeah, no, I do agree.
So don't be that person that makes us do that.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Don't be that guy.
Number 9 is don't give up.
Yes.
So, there's a lot of different things that take a long time and take many steps to get to it. And you might fail to overcome that challenge in the first place. Don't give up. Continue to keep trying to push for that challenge. And then smarter, not harder. And I think that comes with the plan as well. While you're making your plan, jumping back up to the top, make that plan and then analyze it and say, is there a smarter way that I can do this? Or is it just going... Like if it's going to take me 20 hours to do this manually, is there something that I can do to cut that time down? Whatever the case might be, smarter, not harder is always a good play.
Mhm.
That's our word of the week.
Nice.
Love
Nice.
it.
All
What
right,
else do you
Jake,
got?
your segment now.
I already contributed mine. Anytime I can get Tyler and Amber to argue, that's gonna
Okay.
That'll be a fun segment.
Yeah, right. I like that. Mom and dad
the
argument.
mom and dad argument of the week.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm
So
gonna come up
that,
with something to get them arguing every week.
there we go. That's
That would be
perfect.
amazing.
That's
Actually,
We don't
perfect.
argue.
I love it.
that would be.
Awesome.
Not if I have anything to say
We
about
overcame that challenge.
that.
Right,
Well,
there we
it's
go.
Gonna be.
Ah.
I'm gonna make it a new challenge every week.
That's Jake's
A
new
recurring
challenge.
challenge.
That is
Jake's
my challenge, is to
Yes.
make you guys argue.
I love it. You have 10 action steps to get
All
that
right,
challenge
we're
done.
gonna start with our plan.
Right, you've identified it
I've
already.
identified it.
identified
I've made
one
it
step
public.
down.
Right.
Now I
No,
just
I
have to
think
come up
things
with
are
my
getting
plan.
better because Porter's sleeping. He slept 2
It's
nights in
huge.
a row.
It is amazing what sleep will
2
do for your
nights in a
life.
row, and I feel like a new human being.
Isn't it crazy?
It's nuts. It's
And it's not
freaking
like
crazy.
it's not even like so even when he was like crying and it wasn't my night, and Amber would go wake him up. Even just the waking up, like in the middle of the night, just
yeah,
to go back
just-
to sleep.
right.
Just like messes.
It just messes with your
Fucks up
sleep
sleeping,
cycle.
yeah.
So whether you're gonna go, so that's me. I'm like, well, I'm up. I might as well just go feed him anyways because I can't fall back asleep. You know, when you had those nights.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy what sleep can do.
Here's
So we
your,
just cut him
here's
off
your
cold
plug
turkey.
to sleep more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do all the
It
work
was
you,
awesome,
you want in
though.
the
Cut him off
gym.
cold turkey. Now he's like,
Yeah, there you go.
he just
We just let him.
we
cry.
like it wasn't even his fault. It was our fault because we just kept going in there to feed him.
Yeah.
So he's good.
There you go. Look at that.
And yeah, I woke up this morning. I told Sai this morning. We were in training at 7. I was like, I feel like it is 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Like
It's crazy.
I woke up today at 5:45 and I felt like, whoa, wait a minute. I slept from 9:30 to 5:45 and I feel like a brand new human being. So
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
huge shout out to Porter.
Yeah.
Kicking
Porter,
ass,
look,
buddy.
Porter, athlete of the week.
Yeah, how about that, buddy? That's his that was his challenge.
Challenge.
He overcame it. He identified.
go.
He overcame.
Yes.
We better
So-
not
He
jinx
didn't
it.
give up.
Yeah, you
we're
guys
gonna
are-
be up all night tonight. But yeah, so thank you
Take
guys
it
for
easy.
listening. Anything we want to end with?
I don't think so.
Nope. That's it.
Out of here.
Yep. Didn't even
All right.
miss a meeting yet, so that's good.
Nice.
Let's
go.
Horns down.
Horns down.
Iowa State got
Iowa State
horns.
beat
Oh,
Texas
yeah.
this week. We already
They
did.
beat Texas?
They already did.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's
When?
embarrassing.
Last week.
Last
Saturday.
Oh, last week.
Yeah.
Last week.
Just gotta make
Okay.
sure
Who do they
everyone
have
knows.
this
I'm on next week.
Texas Tech.
But yeah,
Oh,
you had
Texas Tech beat.
Texas Tech is bad.
Texas Tech is bad.
Yeah, but they freaking beat
They didn't beat anybody. Who'd they beat?
Texas A&M, maybe.
No, they didn't.
No,
A&M.
Texas
Texas
A&M beat
Alabama.
Alabama.
That's what
yes,
she was
thank you.
saying.
Yeah,
We're
I was
Texas
thinking
Tech.
that.
Texas
Yeah,
Tech just
okay.
There's a lot of
fired the
Texas
coach.
schools.
Yeah,
There's like 30 of them.
But that's like
Wow.
huge.
Horns
Isn't,
down.
The
isn't
biggest
high
one,
school,
the biggest one's down.
Isn't high school football like insane?
High school football in Texas
They
is
have
insane.
bigger. They have like
Yeah.
bigger high school stadiums than they do college stadiums down there.
My,
Not like your big time schools, but like
Right.
there's like
Yeah.
30,000 seat high school stadiums.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I've got family that lives in Texas.
Yeah.
Maybe they're listening right now, guys.
Yeah.
Hi, if you're listening,
Hey,
guys.
family
Hey.
Texas.
But like just driving down, just driving down the interstate there. You can look. It's like Division I looking
That's
stadiums,
insane.
like
Friday Night
left
Lights.
and right. It's insane. Like they told me a story one time of I think it was Allen, maybe.
Oh,
which
they're
is
huge. Have you seen
huge.
their stadium?
It's
Oh, yeah.
nuts. It's insane.
It looks like a college
They
stadium.
had like a big. I think they said that there's like a class size in their high school is like 6,000 kids.
Oh my
So
That's
they had a big
That's
meeting to figure out if they
nuts.
wanted to, divide schools. And their school board that already came out and they're like, if we divide schools, our football team isn't going to win by 200 points every game. So
Really?
that's
So they
dumb.
just yeah.
So-
We have 6,000 kids.
Yeah,
That's
they're like,
awesome.
they're like,
We have like
education,
6,000.
Yeah, screw education.
Screw that. Football.
Does education win you games on Friday nights?
No.
No? All right. Well, we're done. We're
That's
done.
Does
talking.
education make you money?
Yes.
No.
Right.
No.
Not when we're in high school.
Insane.
Awesome. Well, remember, you're an athlete. Live like it.
Born an athlete, you'll die an athlete. It's in your DNA.
Live like an athlete so that you can be successful in life.
You're an athlete. Live like it.
A&A, America needs athletes.